Hey everybody, my name's Ed. Okay, so new comic books haul. So no back issues for this video, but just comics that came out in the last month or two. I'm just trying to catch up. So we're just gonna jump into it. So first we have Black Widow number 8. Go this way. Number 9. So this is the run that's by Kelly Thompson, and the artist is what's her name? Elena Casagrande and Rafael de la Torre, and I guess it's up for an award. I can't remember if it's like an Eisner or something like that. So that's cool. That's neat. It's a real solid comic. It's really decent. I don't know if it's something that blows me away or particularly groundbreaking, but it is a solid comic, so that's fine. Okay. Uh, hey kids. Hey Kids Comics number 3, and then number 4. So this is by the art and stories by Howard Chaykin, and it's actually a pretty dark and cynical look at the behind the scenes at the comic book industry throughout the years. So last issue that I read, issue 2, covered the 50s, and you had the whole thing with uh, EC Comics and the Comics Code and Frederick Wortham and all that sort of thing. And I think we're about to get into the start of the Silver Age with returns of superheroes and things. And a lot of the characters are clearly based on real people. Whether it's Julie Schwartz or Jack Kirby or Will Gaines, whoever. Other characters I'm not too sure about. I think they're just people who I'm not totally familiar with. And I think a couple of characters also might be kind of amalgamations of different people who might have lived, but yeah, very dark, very cynical, lots of swearing. Uh, but yeah, it's an interesting comic if you know anything about like comic book histories, like I said, the industry and stuff like that. America Chavez number 5. It's been an okay comic book. I like it a lot more than the first series they did for American Chavez. This one kind of recontextualizes her origin, her backstory, I think, by giving her, I know she's supposed to be from another dimension, but now he's actually giving her a family that she had grown up with on Earth in New York, and in our dimension or whatever, and that works. That gives her something you don't see a lot of um, in superhero comics, where somebody actually has like a family with a mom and a dad and brothers and sisters and stuff like that. We're still walking around. So, all right, fine. And I'm not too sure why this change was being made. I know the rumors are this characters are supposed to be in the Doctor Strange sequel, so we'll see if she's going to be a superhero, if she's just going to be a person walking around. But like I said, we'll see. Anyway, decent comic, nice art, nice story. So again, didn't blow me away, but a solid product. Eternals number 6. So you can barely see this. Let me see here. So it's Kieran Gillen and Isad Ribic. Again, decent comic. I liked it. The story itself is actually not super involving. Uh, Thanos is walking around. The Earth is going to be destroyed. Some stuff, whatever. But a lot of the actual dialogue and captions by Kieran Gillen is pretty clever, and I really do like Assad Ribic's art. So yeah, Patal. When it came out, I thought it was just going to be a miniseries. I'm sure this is the end of the first arc, but I saw an ad or something somewhere where they're going to issue 7, and 7 is going to be start of a new story arc. So I don't know if that was always the plan, but okay, cool. Fight Girls number 2, story and art by Frank Cho. Not particularly groundbreaking. It's some sort of Hunger Games thing where these women are placed out in the woods somewhere, and there's dinosaurs, and there's a TV show going on, and they have to fight for survival. And whatever. I'm just getting it because it's Frank Cho art. It's worth it for the visuals alone. So all right, okay. And then we've got Icon and Rocket #1, season one. Okay, it's written by Reginald Hudlin, and the art is by Doug Braithwaite and Andrew Curry. Uh, this is interesting for a couple different reasons. So first of all, is Reginald Hudlin. Reginald Hudlin kind of took over, several years ago, took over Black Panther over at Marvel right after Christopher Priest left, and it actually did better. My understanding, it did better under Reginald Hudlin than it did under Christopher Priest. But Hudlin created like these characters like Shuri and a few of the other background characters that some of the other concepts that you saw ending up in the movie. And he's also he's also known as a filmmaker and whatnot. But anyway, it's interesting for that way to see where he's going to take this type of character. The other thing is, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this character, but you can even probably guess that he's kind of a black kind of Superman archetype character. And I'm bringing it up because you might have heard that I guess there was a deal in the works with uh, Tanahashi Coates may or may not be working on a Superman pitch for Warner Brothers. So like and everybody's saying it's probably going to be a Black Superman movie. We're not too sure what it's going to be. If it's going to be Black Clark Kent or. And just getting to the point, DC Comics actually literally has like a half a dozen different characters that actually are already Black Superman. Whether it's other Kryptonians like Val-Zod and Calvin Ellis, or Superman spin-off characters like Steel. And then, like I said, we've got Icon here. DC doesn't own this character outright. They had to share ownership with Milestone. But who knows? It might be interesting to see what Tanahashi Coates comes up with. But I hope whatever he's doing, it's using one of those characters, as opposed to just making Clark Kent black. Um, I think then when you're doing that, I mean, there's interesting ideas you could do if it's just Superman character flying through the air fighting Brainiac or whatever, and he just happens to be black. That's fine. Or if you really want to explore what may or may not happen if you have a Superman character with all the powers of the god, but he lives in America, and how do people react to him as a black man? You could probably do interesting stuff like that as well. But you could do that with any of these other characters that DC already owns or has access to. Um, Making Clark Kent black seems to be, to me, like you're doing it just for the novelty of having black Clark Kent or whatever, and the name recognition too. It's more of a marketable thing. But I mean, who knows? We haven't heard what the pitch or the treatment is supposed to be yet, or even if it gets off the ground. So all right. So anyway, that's it. We're gonna have more review videos coming up. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a good day.